We're back at Anaheim, A2. We're under a truck, AEO KTM. Take me through it. Take me, we seen you in Anaheim 1, bit of a different setup to today.
Yeah. So normally I obviously put my own program together, usually a privateer, and this year I had organised to, I'd bought Cowies and I'd organised a different sponsor for each round, and that's how I was funding it, and it was going really well. I was really comfortable on the bike, and didn't quite make it at A1 to the main, had a big crash in the heat race there, and then everyone knows what happened in San Fran with the mud. That was pretty crazy. And then luckily just AEO KTM contacted me, and they needed a fill-in for Lux Turner, and I spoke it over with the sponsors that I had organised for these next three, and they were really cool with it, and it was too good of an opportunity to pass up. It's very weird being under the truck and having not so many obligations for myself to have to get ready, but it's cool, and I'm just trying to make the most of it.
Hey, so take us through that. Obviously, A1, buying bikes, getting sponsors, putting this together. What's the differences, from race day to be able to sit down? What's the biggest changes for you?
Oh, well, the biggest change, the first day we went riding, we went and did some suspension testing, and then afterwards I went and sat down and had lunch and ate lunch, which is pretty crazy because normally we're at the track, you're up at 6 to warm up for the day, and then you're straight at the track ready to ride at 9, and then you usually finished about 1, and then normally I race to the car wash my bike, put a filter in it afterwards, and then Carrie from Grindstone has us at the gym at about 2:30. So I actually got to sit down, I didn't have to worry about washing the bike, had lunch, and then slowly went to the gym, and it was a lot more casual.
So early days so far, how long will this stick around for? How long do we expect to see you here under the awning at AEO?
So for the moment, it's just till Glendale. So after Glendale, we've got a 6-week break, and that's when Lux is already up, and he's here today, and he's walking around and looking good. So he only had a fractured hip. So just till Glendale, and then I'll be back on my Cowie, which is a lot more obligation, but I'm really pumped with the setup I had built for this year. It was a little bit more professional, a little bit more organised. So it's not so bad to go back, but having this opportunity was too good to pass up, and just to take the load off me and everything that having to do is pretty crazy how much more relaxed race day is. Even people coming with a camera to show me they're filming the practices and it's just little things like that. Pretty crazy to go from San Fran, where I was in the wash bay washing the bike myself, to then the next week being under one of these semis. So just a cool opportunity.
Hey, like you said, a lot of sponsors you had to put together for obviously your own program. That's a frustrating thing, 2 rounds in saying, hey, I've got this opportunity. How did you approach that? What was that like, personally for you having to do that?
So first up I called John from Squawk Clothing, and he was the person I had organised for last weekend and this weekend. He was going to be on the bike, and he had organised the pit tent and organised all the sponsors that were on to make it look professional. So he was my first call, and he was really cool about it, and I'll have him on the bike at later rounds now anyway. So I'd organised nearly every round apart from a few, and these sponsors that were meant to be on for these rounds in Glendale, I'll just push them to later in the year. And then Glendale was just my friend's one-up van conversions. He was meant to be on the bike, so he'll be on at a later round, and everyone else is pretty easy, just a phone call to Seven and RI and X-Brand and people like that. So it was honestly pretty easy to shift over.
Hey, like you said as well, the start of the season, obviously doing it out of the van. Now, America, Supercross, West Coast, you're no stranger to it. You've done it many, many years now. We had 2 mudders back to back. As for you, San Fran, what was that like, having to do everything on your own? Be wash bay, do this, get back to the pits. Was that the wildest mud race of your career yet?
Yeah, I'd say so. Thinking back, I'll be dating myself, but we had, I think it was in 2010 in Australia, we had Brisbane. That was pretty bad.
Brisbane Super X at Cusack Stadium.
Yeah. I remember that was a pretty crazy one. And apart from that, I'm trying to think, my memory isn't too good, but it was pretty wild. And then to think, I haven't even, I washed the practice bike. I spent $50 at the car wash trying to clean it all. And I don't know if they've got lime still in that dirt or something, but my practice bike cases are just ruined. So I've got to get back and strip that. I'll probably have to frame the practice bike after Glendale and get it back to rideable, because it's hammered. And because of that busy week trying to test the KTM for the AEO guys and everything, everything just got pushed to the side, and it's still a mess that I got to deal with once we get through these next 2 rounds.
Hey, and then, final question for me, expectations, results, for the rest of the season for you. What's the goals you're setting yourself?
So, goals setting for myself, just to be in the main every weekend. So it's kind of thrown a spanner in the works coming over to these guys. It was honestly just too good of an opportunity to pass up, and I'm trying to make the most of it, but also jumping over to a different bike, like 2 rounds into the season, I've found it quite tough. But the more I get on it, the more I'm feeling comfortable. We were just unlucky, like we had San Fran, and then we had that week where it was kind of wet, and then this last week after San Diego, it rained like Monday, Tuesday, so we didn't really get to do much testing, but I'm just going to make the most of it. I expect to be in the main event each weekend, and then from Seattle onwards after the break, I'll be on my own bike. And I honestly, with the way I was feeling at Anaheim, I expect to be in the main event, and hopefully we can make that happen and we'll have a good season.
Hey, look good. Pumped to see it, flying that Australian flag year after year here. So a lot of fans for you back home, mate. Good luck for the rest of the season. We'll talk soon.
Thank you very much.